Hi, baby wearers. My name is Lisa, and I am going to do a ring sling tutorial. I've had a few people ask because ring slings are like my thing. So I'm going to do a ring sling tutorial, start to finish, of how I use a ring sling. This is a size large Natty Baby ring sling, and the first thing you're going to do if you have a ring sling you've never used before is you're going to thread the rings. So you're going to take the tail end, and what I do, see if I can get close, is I kind of accordion fold it up like this, and then it goes in through both rings, and then you pull the tail out through the second ring there. Okay, pretty self-explanatory. Now, once you have that, you should not have to unthread it very often. You can just leave it like that. But another thing I do before I ever put a ring sling on, every single time I wear my ring sling, is I take the fabric that's in the rings, and I take a hold of the top rail, and I just feed it through my fingers like this. So it's all nice and smooth within my rings, with one tail on the top and one tail on the bottom. This will make it much easier to adjust once you have it on. So the next thing I'm going to do is just slip it on. I like to wear mine over my right shoulder. I am right-handed, so I put it over my right shoulder, and then I have my right hand pretty much free. And I always like to carry my babies on my left where my heart is. That's just, how I do it. But if you're a lefty and like to do it the other way, just reverse everything. Okay, so you're going to start with your ring sling kind of up here on your shoulder. You don't want it down too low, because as you adjust your tail, it's going to pull the rings down. When you're finished adjusting everything, your ring should be right here about corsage level. So you don't want to start off here, because as you adjust, it's going to pull those rings down. Okay, so you're going to start back here on your shoulder. You can see I've already got my fabric spread out nice in those rings. And what you want to do is adjust as much slack out as you can before you put your baby in. You want it to be pretty well, snug to your body, so that move the camera down so you can see a little bit better. So you don't have to do as much adjustment here with the rings once you put your baby in. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm taking my arm around back, and I am going along this bottom rail and just kind of feeding that slack through up to the rings, and then I'm going to take a hold of the bottom rail in the rings, and it's going to just adjust that slack on the bottom. Okay, now I'm going to see all this slack here. I'm going to do the same thing to the top rail and just kind of pull that out. So you see, I don't have a whole lot of give here. I've got a nice pouch for my baby, but it's pretty snug up against my body. It's not like hanging way down here. So sorry, it's hard for me to get my face and the sling all in one shot. So now I'm going to get my baby. So just one second. Oh, okay, so this is my roly-poly guy. This is Rylan, and he's 9 months. So I just put him up here on my shoulder, grab his legs, and slip them into the pocket. Now he's a big guy, so of course I'm going to get him legs out, which is actually the recommendation from newborn on up now. But if your baby is more comfortable with legs in, if it's a tiny, tiny baby, you can do it that way too. Okay, So now I'm taking this bottom rail, and this is what's going to become his seat. And I'm going to tuck that up under his bum. And now I've got my top rail up here. So I've got quite a bit of slack here. You can see I've got it tucked up knee to knee. And so now I want to tighten this up. It's pretty well tight on the bottom. But I'm going to tighten up that top slack. And the way you do that is you're just going to grab just the top rail, and it's going to snug up exactly where you need it to snug. Okay, so it's snugged right up here against the top. Now, if you need to snug up the middle, you're just going to pull on the middle, just kind of strand by strand tightening as you would woven wrap when you're wrapping. Okay, so now you've got them in there, positioned pretty well. This is tummy to tummy. If you prefer to have them on your hip, you can just lift up this ring, just slightly loosen it, and just kind of transfer them over to your hip. And then snug it back up again. And so that's pretty simple. Another thing you can do to be sure you get a really nice, good seat there is once you've got it pretty snugged up, lean forward. I've got my hand on the back of baby as I'm doing this. Lean forward, reach your arm in between baby and you, and grab that bottom rail and just yank up between you so you can get as much fabric up between you as possible. I'm sorry, buddy. So that's how I do it, and you can kind of spread this out. Another thing that's really important, which I should have mentioned this before I even put them in, was you want this spread out across your back. This is what's going to help distribute the weight of baby across your back, and be sure it's not pulling on your shoulder. And you see I have it kind of, you want to pull it away from your neck. You can spread it even further if you like. Some people don't like it so far down because it can kind of restrict arm movement. But you can spread it further, however you like it. And ring slings are one of my favorite things to nurse in. I find them super easy. And so I just want to show how I do that too. And hopefully that'll make this guy happy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer him from this tummy to tummy hold to more of a hip hold. And remember, like so, I'm going to loosen. I'm going to move him over and down a little bit so he's positioned right where he needs to be. He's still got a seat. He's still very secure. And then I just get the girls out here and get him latched on. Maybe. He's kind of got a little cough, as you can tell. He's so tired. It's nap time. It's bedtime. Okay, so there he goes. He's latched on. And you can also take your tail and use it as a cover if you like. Nobody needs to know what you're doing. I generally don't care, depending on where I'm at. I'm usually pretty, he doesn't like the cover. I can put it on and he'll just pull it off. So I just kind of cover myself there without covering him. And so that's it. And then you have it right there for when they do that. At this age, they're very distractible. And then when they're done, you just loosen those rings again, scooch them around to the front, and snug up. Pull your tension, your slack out again. And this whole time, he's got, turn it on, you see, He's got a nice deep seat. He's secure. I'm completely hands-free. And like seeing himself. He's in there. And so that's how that's a basic tutorial on how to use the ring sling start to finish. Obviously, every time you're not going to have to thread that through, and you'll get really good at learning exactly where you want it positioned on you before putting your baby in there. And you see it's kind of like right here at corsage level. If you need to, you can do little adjustments or whatever. But spreading it out across your back and across your shoulder is going to be really important to increase your comfort level. And you want to be sure you don't tighten up this bottom rail too tight, because you can tighten the seat right out from under them. So that is how we nurse and use our ring sling. And I can use a ring sling even at his weight at this age for probably about an hour before it starts to kind of hurt my back a little bit. And I prefer wovens or my wrap conversion Metai for longer periods of time. But I love my ring sling is my go-to carry when we're out for fast errands and for teeny tiny squishes. And you can nurse them in this upright position when they're little too. I mean, you won't have to do as much movement and adjustment. But you can also do cradle position. I never got that down really well, so I won't show you that. And he doesn't care for it that way, unless we're like sitting down in a chair or whatever. But this is how we do it in the ring sling. I can walk around, I can, do whatever, and he's happy, and I'm happy, and my baby's close to me. So I hope this was helpful for you. Happy baby wearing!